It's always such a surreal thing to be able to create art. You know, not a lot of people get the opportunity to do that.
People that work in sex work or people that are possibly working in vice, drug dealers, people in crime, aren't bad people.
You really held it down with the role, Lilith.
Right? And there's the idea of love, the idea of intimacy. And I love that they're so sensual, but at no point are they sexual or sexualized.
But also showing women in positions of power in not governmental or places like that, in these unorthodox spaces.
On Gomorrah, if you walked on a set, you can ask anybody there. I was always somewhere in a department that wasn't mine.
Lilith is part of a 6-part series.
The Zulu traditional attire, women walk around bare-breasted, their backs out, their arms out, their legs out. We're seeing a lot of skin, but at no point are they sexualized.
Selected at a BAFTA, Oscar and Erasmus Award qualifying festival, which is what for South African indie was our goal in the beginning.
You know, it's not nice to take without giving a little something.
This is definitely on purpose. Guys love that dirty back alley shit.
Yeah, they'll pay for it.
Oh, that's true. One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Why did you want to meet me?
There's not a lot of girls like you online.
What do you mean, girls like me? Black girls?
She's missing for like 2 weeks now. Bitch be MIA. Something about a guy online she went on a date with.
Can I ask you a question?
Depends.
On what?
The question.
Have you ever been in love?
I just hit the lotto.
When you're young, man, you're told that you're loved. Granny loves you. Uncle loves you. Jesus loves you. You know.
What's going on, movie lovers? Welcome to the Brazen Black podcast, the home of the fearless African and unapologetic storytelling. I'm still your host, Tebatso, Mashishi, the black boy with the white skin. And today, I'm chilling with the dopest people, man. I just watched a dope film called Lilith, and I'm here with the producer and the director. Robin, how are you?
Very well, and thank you for having us today.
Thank you very much, Sphesihle. How are you doing?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Please just take us through the conception of the idea of Lilith.
Thank you. Yes, so I, from quite a young age, spent a lot of time on the streets, running with some bad crowds, I guess, and what people would say. And I found out that the people that are pushed to the margins of society, people that work in sex work or people that are possibly working in vice, drug dealers, people in crime, aren't bad people. They just, they are the outcome of their situations. So I found that kind of brethren as well as fraternity within that space. And then combining that with one of my biggest loves, which is an admiration for women. Women are my muse. And that's been, ever since I was figured out in my late 20s, when I realized my own sexuality and how, I can be masculine and feminine at the same time. But most importantly, Lilith is a representation of the African feminine in an orthodox way. I mean, it's not a GBV forward film where we see another woman getting beaten or something like that. Not that there isn't space and those films aren't important, of course they are, but how to take something really hard and really dark and then compress it into something beautiful like a diamond and go, here's some hope to take from the hardship, but also showing women in positions of power in not governmental or places like that, in these unorthodox spaces. And I think CC just pulled that off absolutely beautiful when you built the camera together, built the character together in terms of really taking in what it is to be a woman working in a different space, such as the adult entertainment world, and being powerful, but still playing the victim when needed to be to get what you want.
And I think the film does that with so much grace, because I think what stood out for me is how we traveled sort of the different worlds, right? Because now we start on the internet, and then we dive in, and then we get into the love story. Actually, it's a beautiful message about love. I love that so much. Especially first production debut. Before we get into your character, how was that for you?
How was shooting a Lilith?
No. As first time producer.
Oh,
Yes.
first time. It's always such a surreal thing to be able to create art. You know, not a lot of people get the opportunity to do that. It's a blessing because, all of us get stuck in the reality of having to pay rent and, our bonds and whatever else. And so we opt to do the thing that is sustainable other than doing the thing that fills our hearts. So that is always something that makes me really, really grateful to do what I do every day. And I've always said, like, from when I got into the film industry, that I really want to be part of the conversation. I want to be part of the creative process. Even when I started off on Gomorrah, if you walked on a set, you can ask anybody there. I was always somewhere in a department that wasn't mine. I would sit with the sound guys and I'd ask them, what's this? What's that? I'd sit with the cinematographers and I say, why are we changing to that lens? Why are we doing this? Okay, are we doing a mid shot? Okay, are we doing that? I'd go sit in production and I'd find out, okay, cool, when you're scheduling, this happens, this happened. What software are you using? Because I always like being in the know when I want to be part of, I want to be a creative that is aware of all the moving parts of the system so that I can do my job better. Because if I know what the cinematographer wants to achieve or what he's doing or what lens he's shooting on, I can adjust my performance, adjust my body, adjust whatever it is that I need to be in the space. So it kind of like stemmed from that and then grew into a love, okay. I just low-key want to be in charge, so.
Was it easy, hard?
Working with Rob had everything already set out. Rob knew, I think like the second meeting I had with Rob sat me down and was like, okay, and he opened his laptop and he was like, okay, shot 1. This is what I want. This is the lighting that I want. These are the clothes that I'm thinking. Okay, shot 2. So like working with somebody that's this organized, this meticulous about the craft it just makes everything
If I can
easily.
say the exact same back,
Mm.
meticulous in the way of working. Absolute professional. Where I think a lot of people wearing many hats can sometimes get a little bit lost and diluted in what they're doing. It's so strong to come from such a strong acting and still acting background, and then be able to build on that into production. Because as you said, you're not jack of all trades, master of none, but they all feed into one thing, which is to become a very strong producer. And be a very strong producer.
Yeah.
And I must say that, you really held it down with the role, Lilith. So powerful. The movie for me felt like foreplay.
Was a striptease, isn't it?
Of some sort. Because it felt like very slow, drawing you in. Was that intentional?
Definitely. I think one of the most important things for it was a sense of unease and provocation. So it's always teasing you and tempting you, just like a striptease all the way through. But I think an important thing to remember and why you left with that feeling for more and a hunger for more is Lilith is part of a 6-part series, which has been written and is looking to go into productions and development at the moment. So 6-part series written, of course, with Cece on board and on hand, producing the piece with us. So yeah, very excited for that. But enough from my side. Yep.
I think also why you felt it was foreplay is because it's so beautifully written. Well done, Rob. Something I always point out to people is that, Lilith is a story about these people, these women and men that are part of this adult world, right? And the characters are very sensual, right? And there's the idea of love, the idea of intimacy. And I love that they're so sensual, but at no point are they sexual or sexualized.
That was
we see them like really, really living in their bodies and their skin, and we're seeing skin and we're seeing, all of these things happening, but there's not even one sex scene in the entire film. And I think that calls to question what we deem as sexual, you know, and are our bodies meant to be sexual? If you look at, if we say pre-colonial history, right? The African body was never sexualized. African skin was never sexualized. If you look at the Zulu traditional attire, women walk around bare-breasted, their backs out, their arms out, their legs out. We're seeing a lot of skin, but at no point are they sexualized. And it's only post-colonial times do we see that the African body, the hips, the bum, the
it's a
arms,
commodity now.
how that transition has happened regarding the African body. And I think that's what this was meant to be, a conversation starter of as well. So
I think there's also an element of, as soon as, I don't know how we can't do it right, but in so many cases, as soon as two women are in anything that's almost a relationship, it becomes pornographic. You can almost hear the waka 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 music, and it's and it was such an intention to stay away from that, because if you look at the characters, they never are named their sexual relationship or preference. So they don't say if they're straight, they're gay, they're bisexual, they're whatever they might be. We also never ever speak about the interracial relationship or the intergenerational relationship between them, because there's about a 10-year gap between the two leads and the two lead characters. So it's almost in a postmodern way looking over that stuff, not to forget the past, but going, guys, we're going to build on what is now seen as a new way of South Africa kind of mingling and into the melting pot that is Johannesburg, especially, because it's the Johannesburg story.
yeah.
And lastly, how did you guys feel, being the film was it selected for an Oscar?
No, it was selected at a BAFTA, Oscar, and Erasmus Award qualifying festival, which is what for South African indie was our goal in the beginning.
Yeah.
So to get the international recognition from Europe and premiere in Europe, and then premiere in the States also at very accoladed festivals, and then bring it back home here. And
How's that feel?
it's because it's been a journey.
Indescribable.
It's taken 2 years for the whole process.
We were so anxious.
Yeah, but we did it right. I mean, you can't slow down in the last kilometer of the marathon. And so we're seeing it all the way back. I mean, we're only 2/3 away through Lilith, if you think about it.
Yeah.
As in this film, because there's so much in marketing and in making sure that we use this as a case study and say, guys, there's a hunger for this. Like, people in South Africa want this. We don't have to make another formulaic piece that we know is going to work. Like, how you felt about the story, how anyone that watched it felt about the story. Let's pull people in. Let's tell our stories with grits.
Specifically, how did you feel?
It's so surreal, watching. Well, Rob asked me as we got out, I was like, how was it watching yourself? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate watching myself. Even like my self-tapes, I watch my self-tapes on mute and I just look at my expression to see if it matches what I was trying to achieve. Because watching myself just seems so...
It's self-preservation.
Too judgmental.
So this was like one of the few times where I got lost in the performance. I think the first minute I was anxious because I'm like, oh my gosh, they're about to see me dancing. I want to scream. But I think after the first scene, I was just like locked in. Like the story just like, it grips you in. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, this was like beautifully shot actually. Like this was like beautifully written. And I'm like, really taking in the piece as an audience member, as a spectator, as opposed to being a judgmental figure looking at myself. But yeah, I'm so proud of the team. We had such amazing creatives part of this project. I mean, Brad, our cinematographer, was just...
His name's Brad Divine, and he is divine. He really is.
He really is divine. His work is absolutely immaculate.
But I mean, I think it's a testament to thank you, everybody, the whole team on this. We've had the top in the industry come in, and from top to bottom, and people are just jumping onto the project more and more as it comes. And Lilith grows into this cultural conversation, which it really has become. So just whoever sees it out there, like, thank you, team. You guys rock. We're nothing without our team.
Shout out to the crew, and guys, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
I can't stop raving about just being pulled into a love story that I even forgot about the whole strip dance. I'm like, oh, okay, this is about love.
Yeah.
That was so beautiful. Guys, you heard it here first at the Brazen Black podcast. Salute, BAFF'ies. Thank you very much.
Thank you.